Okay, Charlie, this is Robert from Sonax. This is my first time, so cut me some slack if it doesn't make sense or if I stutter or what have you. This is your movie. I'm gonna start before you moved, right here. I put the coolant here, but you don't need that. I just realized that this PID doesn't need to be there. It should be actually ATF temperature there. Let's go over the parameter to start with. This is the engine RPM, as you know. I like to change this and start at 0 so we know where we are. So you go property, you change the scale 0, and then I put this at 4,000 just because it's a round number. I do this fast, but I'll explain to you how to do that another time if you want to know how to do this. So now we have a good view of our RPM. This is our throttle position in percentage. I changed it to 0, 100% because I like to see my percentage. Same thing here, percentage of the duty cycle will go 0, 100%. Those are just little detail, but I always start like that because it makes more sense in my little pea brain for some reason. Right here is a little confusing like this because we go negative when you slow down. See how it goes negative? So I'm going to start it at 0 instead, 0 to 300, so we can see 0 to 255 actually. 0 to 255. That way, it'll give us a better idea of what slip and what is not. We don't want to go negative. There's no reason to look at it. TCC mode here, this is like I was explaining off. This is the applied phase, and then this is the full on phase. The tricky part on this, because the name here are wider than the numbers here, it makes the cursor, this is my cursor, this indicates everywhere at the same time, but as you can see, they're not together, they're not in line. This one is there, this one is there. Those are all in line, so you have to be careful with that. Then here is the commanded gear. That's pretty self-explanatory. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how long I have, so that's why I'm talking fast. Later on, I'll get used to it. I'll probably do it slower. Anywho, so you're pushing on the gas right here. You're taking off. Okay, right here you see in miles per hour, 6 mile an hour. Your RPM goes up. We're in first gear. So this is our 1-2 shift right here. We're going 1, 2, boom, the RPM drop. This is our 2, 3 right here, boom, boom, the RPM drop. Right here, I have no idea what it is. You had a bump in RPM there. No clue why that is there. Maybe another parameter that I'm not seeing. I don't know. But the throttle position stayed exactly the same, so I can't understand why it went up. But it went up for some reason. It's a little odd. In any event. Now we have the 3-4 shift right here, and you see immediately after it shifts. It's not as clean of a shift as the 1, 2, and 2, 3. That is not unusual. It's kind of a sloppy shift on the 4060E, the 3-4. The clutch are probably a little burnt anyway under the channel plate, but that's almost always looked like that on a 4060E. Then we have the command for lockup. Now the command for lockup happens right here. This is when it moved the switch valve. This thing, boom, moves the switch valve. This one right here is the apply. Now we see right here it's starting to apply. It drops, and we are what, about 2304 right there, and then it drops till about right here, 2237. And then it lags there, and then boom, it locks right here. This is a sign of the TCC PWM valve not doing its job properly. The only thing, I don't know how serious that is. That might be nothing. It might be just lagging a little bit. The way to know if it's the valve, if it's a leak at the valve, is to take another movie with the ATF at room temperature at 70 Fahrenheit or so, instead of being red hot like it is right now. Well, it said 71, I think, which I assume is like in Celsius. So that would be, I'm not too sure, but close to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. 100 is 212, so it'll probably be about 180, I'm not sure. But anyway, it was plenty hot when it did this. If the problem is a leak at the TCC regulator valve, is the bore is worn out, or if you have sealing rings that are leaking, it will work perfect when it's cold. That's the way to know. In any event, we know our switch valve moved because it did lock, so that's completely out of the equation. No reason to put the flow meter on there. Now we keep on going, and it doesn't lock any more than this. The throttle, you kept it steady. That's perfect. Here, the slip kind of climbs up a little bit, never goes low. I believe this is an actual slip now. The more I look at this, the more I believe it's a slip. But you wouldn't know if it was bone cold, if it would lock up better, or the other easy part is you simply goose the throttle a little bit. If you were to push on the throttle like you did right here, but not quite as much, just a little bit. If you push the throttle just a little bit without canceling the lockup stays on. If the RPM climb at all, like see right here, they don't seem to climb. Well, they do climb a little bit, but that's easier to look on the tach. You just push on the gas a little bit. As long as it doesn't unlock from here, the RPM should not move at all. Your miles per hour will go up if it accelerates on the freeway, but your tach is pretty much going to stay steady, just like if you had a stick shift. You can floor it and burr, it stays there. If it ramps up a little bit, it means it's not locked up solid. So those are all pointers there. It might be locked, and this is proof that you have the wrong ratio. It's not 100% conclusive. The only thing I can tell you for sure is that one, the switch valve is moving because we can see it here, and then the lockup is delayed a little bit. It should lock as soon as it's at the bottom there. A good working system. I'm going to zoom on it, you'll see it a little better. On a good working system, this would go boom, it would lock, and then it would keep going. As this ramps down, this would keep going down till about right here, and then it would stay there. So now you know about as much as I do, and let me see how I stop this thing.